that we used last month. 200 days a year. How much do you have to charge to follow this model to make $80,000 a year? So we know that the price to do the work is $3,000. We know the goal is for you to make $80,000. Now I'm going to show you how that formula fits in to this model. There's only two things that you need to know to make money in your business: margins and cash flow. Gross margins and cash flow. So margin is defined as the difference between what you charge for your job and what it costs you to provide the product and or service. There's a difference there. That's called gross margin. So the revenues, in this case, for this one job, this equals $3,000. Now let's say you have two people working for you, and let's say you're paying them $20 an hour, and you can paint this house in a day and a half. That's what we were told last time, but I'm going to give you 2 days, not a day and a half, because you got to drive, you got to have lunch, take breaks. You know, you forgot something, you know, have to go get more tape. So, so I'll give you 2 days to do this. So if you have two people working at 10-hour days, 10 days a week, $20 an hour. So you have two people making $200 a piece per day, times 2 is 400. Got 20 hours. Make sure I got this right. Okay, $20 an hour, 10 hours a day, that's $200 a day. You have two people, that's 400. Yes? Okay. Times 2, $800. Everybody got that? You have people making $20 an hour, and they work that schedule. They're going to make, if they're working the 200 days, they're going to work 2,000 hours a year at $20. So each one of those people are going to make $40,000 a year working for you. Is that what people make? Is that a good number? I mean, if you're hiring somebody, you're the boss now, right? So out of 1,000, you're going to minus the cost of sales. Cost of sales is defined as all the materials and the total labor. So I'm going to subtract $1,500 for that. So you've got $800 in labor, and the rest is going to be paint, caulk. You got to paint the trim, you got to paint the gutters, so it's going to take some time. So I've got lots of wiggle room in here. In fact, that's probably a high number. $1,200, better? So $400 for materials, $800 for labor for 2 days. I don't know how much paint costs. How much paint costs for a house? 15? Okay. So that leaves you $1,500. Now, what I did not explain, I explained it, but I went too fast last time because I had questions about this. Here's the biggest mistake people make when they first start in business that have been used to being paying an hourly wage. So once you get your business going and you're making this kind of money, the first thing that people do, the first mistake is they go buy the biggest pickup they can find on the lot. The second mistake they make, they go buy the boat because they think they have this money to spend because this is your gross margin right here. The fallacy of that, the only money that you have to spend is half of this. And I'm going to explain to you why. And it's going to be for your benefit, but so in this case, half would be $750. And you say, well, why don't I get to keep all of it? Well, you know why you don't get to keep all of it. It's because you have a fixed business overhead expense that, and you think, oh, this is crazy. How can it be half? It is half. And I'm going to explain to you all the components of that. And one of the reasons it's is because legitimate business expenses, and the advantage of you being your own business owner is that you can deduct a plethora of business expenses that you would normally have to pay if you were just an employee and getting a W-2. For example, by the way, we're about $50 short here on this model. So I am going to not cut it in half. I want you to pay yourself first. I want you to pay yourself $400 a day on 200 working days so you can make $80,000. Pay yourself first. You all have been told that. Pay yourself first. What people, big mistake, they make this money, they pay everybody else, and they're not really thinking about all of the components of what it takes to run a business. And all of a sudden, because they don't understand gross margins, they don't understand cash flow, they end up paying themselves what's left over. Big mistake. So if you, yes, you might have to say, all right, maybe I need to charge more. Then you say, well, I can't charge more. I have 100 competitors in the marketplace. And if I charge more, I won't get the work. Yes? Yeah. Which means that you have to focus on this. On this. I'll give you an example. I might have mentioned this last time. When I was in the development business, 2005, we built over 1,000 houses. Over 1,000. And we started with about 130 of them the year before that were started and not finished. We sold and closed through escrow 900 of them. 900. We had hundreds and hundreds of subcontractors. We had about 100 people in our company. I had 22 of them. And the way that we accomplished that, we had a 68-day working schedule. So we didn't build houses, we assembled houses. And learning how to stage a job and actually perform the work, I can give you an example of that, maybe the class, but you want to focus on this. And the key is labor productivity. The materials are going to be about the same every time. You have so many materials you're going to use, so much paint, so much tape, so much caulk, all that stuff on a paint job. So actually figuring out how to stage and have labor productivity to where they do the highest quality work that's possible, so you'll have happy, satisfied customers. That's the key. All right, so getting back to this. So we've got what, $700 left. That's going to go to here. So I know everybody in this room did not take this class for free. I know everybody in this room, if you got our CCB certification, you didn't take that for free. So you have been pouring out money to us to get your CCB license, to get your insurance and your bond, that all that comes out of here. This is mostly defined in accounting terms. This is called SG&A. It's sales and general and advertising expenses. And this is the amount of money that it costs you to be in business all year long without doing, whether you do one job or you do, in this case. So in this case, you're only going to do 100 paint jobs. Yes? 200 days, takes you 2 days to do it. So you're only going to do 100 jobs. Is that a big number? So the goal is to figure out how to do that, yes? Yeah. Okay, so fixed business overhead. We have an exercise, a different small business management class, and we get people to write down everything that they need to spend to be in business, regardless of what the volume is. So what would that be? Well, let's take our $700. We're going to start with that first. Going to do 100 jobs. That's a big number. And I will guarantee you, none of you are actually going to spend that much money when you first get started. But I have lots of clients that spend anywhere from $13,000 to $20,000 a month, whether they do one job or they do none. Yeah, a lot of money. Now they're doing 3 million, 3.5 million. So the percentages are about the same. All right, let's take a list of what you'd possibly pay. Does anybody here have pay rent or pay yourself? You have a lease? No? Yeah, a lease? What do you pay a month? 1,600? That's a good number. Yeah. Anybody pay more than that? 2,000? Yeah. My kids moved in here from Indiana. They have a house that's about 2,000 square feet. They're paying $2,500 a month just for rent. Yikes. Now they're living in an area that pays $5,000 a year just for property. So if you're paying $2,000, that's a good price. Now a lot of you are just getting started, right? But eventually you're going to have, when you grow, you're going to need more room and you're going to have more space. So now eventually the goal is that if you rent a place, our goal for you is that you make enough money that you start buying your own building and lease it back from yourself. Take the depreciation, that'll cut your tax bill down in a major way. More sophisticated. Okay. So, do we have any roofers in? A few? You poor guys. Do we have any tree fallers in here? Yeah? You pay the highest. If you have employees, workman's comp is the highest in arborists, fallen trees. People fall out of trees. Trees fall on them. Roofers fall off roofs. So tree people are the highest. They call it a comp rate, workman's comp. Roofers are second. Office people, the lowest. Can't get hurt. So you're going to have insurance, CE, and a bond. You're going to have, and you have two kinds of insurance. You have business insurance. That's your liability, stuff that you have to be licensed here. Now, the nice thing about this model, you're going to take your health insurance for your family and write it off on the business. So average, is about $1,200 a month just for your health insurance. We have people that pay more. We have clients that pay $20,000 a year for their health insurance for their family. Lots of kids, you know. So that's 100. What's that? How much? What's it's 144. It's $14,400. Now, taxes. Taxes. People always forget about the taxes. Paying these people over here, every dollar you pay to your helper, you have two. So if they're making $400 a day, $800 for the job, you are going to have to pay Social Security and Medicare every dollar that you pay them. And you have to pay the balance. So out of every dollar that you pay, you have to pay 15% for just Social Security and Medicare. Now, and you're going to make $80,000. And when the nice thing about making $80,000, you're going to stay $250 or something like that. When you go over that, you start moving up into the 20%. Now, in the state of Oregon, you're going to pay another 9% on top of your 12, and you're going to have to pay this security. So you are going to have to pay about 30 cents of every dollar. Isn't that wonderful? Nobody thinks about that. That's why you need that $750 to go into this fixed expense and overhead. Make sense? Now, y'all have a cell phone? Y'all have internet? Oh, do you have any rolling stock? How many people have a truck, a van, a trailer in your business? Yeah, you do. So I don't care who you are in the United States of America, whether you own all of your equipment and all of your rolling stock free and clear, you will always have an equipment, a car payment. You'll have it personally and you'll have it in your business. You will always have it because they do not last forever. And even if it's paid for, you got to put fuel in it. You got to pay insurance on it. You have to buy tires for it, and they break down and you have to get them fixed. So no matter what, you're going to have an equipment and a truck car expense. So you probably have a car expense on your personal, and then you probably have some business equipment, a business equipment expense. So it's not uncommon if you made the first mistake and you thought, oh man, I got this $1,500 to spend to get a truck that costs $600 a month, whatever, for a payment. Even if you lease it, it's going to be that expensive. So I always think you need to have a reserve account for vehicles. Now, this may sound strange, but let's say you have a pickup, and let's say you've got two white Ford 150 Econoline vans with ladders on top, and the vans are full of paint and caulk and stuff like that. That rolling stock costs you more than you actually think about it until it breaks down and you have to spend $1,000 or buy new tires or do maintenance. So I think you need a reserve account of about $1,000 a month, $12,000 a year. Can you see how fast this stuff adds up? So one of the exercises people do, make a list of all the expenses that you can possibly think of. because you're going to have continuing education. It's going to cost you more. You're going to have to get your CCB license renewed. You're going to have to get your insurance renewed. There's a list, and if you want to make a list, and your goal is to figure out how much a month you need to stock away, including this 30 cents on every dollar, to cover your overhead. Make sense? Say yes. Yeah. I'll tell you, it'll scare the hell out of you. It's a lot more than you ever think about. Until you start writing it down, and you say, well, I don't have a reserve account for my truck or my trucks. I don't have a reserve account for my marketing. I don't have the reserve account, for my health insurance. That's why I kind of split this up about half, because if you do it right, a lot of the stuff that you would normally pay as an individual, you can write it off your business. And Diana is the expert on what you can write off and what you can't write off. So if you have any questions, you can ask her. She is a tax accountant, by the way. Yeah.
Levanten su mano, queremos un resumen de lo que está hablando para que lo entendamos un poquito mejor. Ustedes díganme, porque se acuerdan la vez pasada, estábamos hablando que algunos aprendemos diferente, o entendemos diferente, que hagamos un resumen de lo que él estaba hablando. Podemos hacerlo. O lo dejamos que ya casi va a acabar. Lo que él nos está dando a entender, ¿no? De que nosotros hicimos la broma la vez pasada, no sé si se acuerdan de la clase, ¿no? Que lo que él nos estaba diciendo, que ellos hacen un plan por 200 días trabajados, ¿right? Y se acuerdan que nosotros dijimos que nosotros trabajamos 365, ¿right? Él nos plantea, no, de verdad, ¿no? Y nos reímos, y la clase pasada lo hablamos, que nosotros planeamos esto y estamos trabajando, y si tuviera 400, creo que son los mismos que trabajamos. No, de verdad. Lo que nos está dando a entender, o que quiere que nosotros veamos, porque hay varios que nos están llamando, y los precios de los trabajos que queremos hacer, siempre los estamos devaluando un poco. Entonces son los temas que estamos tocando aquí con él y con Diana, es lo que ustedes están hablando. Ahorita está una forma aquí, que la vamos a pasar, y llenar lo que va a ir bien en español, de los temas que estamos haciendo. Ahí quiero que ustedes también pongan, y no nos debe de dar ninguna pena, ¿verdad? Estas clases las tenemos que hacer en inglés y en español. Ya sé que algunas personas hablan muy bien en inglés, pero hay personas que también quieren entenderlo bien en español. Entonces, no se sienta con pena, ponga ahí, me gustaría que todo el tiempo se hablara en español, porque a veces ellos nos dicen, no, ellos hablan inglés. Sí, sí lo hablan, pero algunos, en cuestión de números o en cuestión de palabras que él está usando, hay veces que no estamos familiarizados. Entonces, es bueno que ustedes pongan en esta nota, porque se viene la siguiente vez una persona que viene lo de blueprint, pero dice que estábamos muy callados todos. Entonces, estamos diciendo que se haga el blueprint, pero también en español. Él habla en inglés, pero que todo se traduzca, porque hay personas que están mandando sus estimaciones, y les mandan un plano, y en el plano algunos no están familiarizados y no saben cómo leer el plano, ¿verdad? Entonces es bueno que ustedes pregunten, levanten su mano, ¿sabe qué? Traduzcan lo que dijo, y vamos a tratar de traducir lo mejor que se pueda, ¿verdad? Entonces, nomás para abreviar lo que él dice, que ellos se trabajan por 200 días, ¿right? Nosotros tenemos que ver cómo vamos a hacer nuestras taxes también. Hay algunos que están pagando más, y es lo que él nos está enseñando, ¿verdad? Hay algunos que van a pagar más, y si no estamos metiendo todas los expenses que tenemos, o no llevo usted en el control, es por eso que se va a pagar más taxes. Hay personas que no vamos a pagar mucho porque estamos metiendo, porque es todas las expenses. Por eso es lo que dice Diana y lo que dice Rob, que tenemos que ser muy cuidadosos en apuntar todo. Todo desde que empezamos, los materiales, todo cómo lo estamos haciendo para que tengamos un mejor récord. Es bien importante que desde el principio tomen nota. Lo que decía Diana, ¿verdad? Que todo lo que se va a llevar, que todo lo escribamos. ¿Alguna nota que nos está diciendo? Los días. Eso es bien importante. Eso es lo que uno está implementando en su propio negocio. Trabajar 200 días y tenemos que cobrar bien. Hay que cobrar bien. No les si se cobra un poquito más, ya tiene que hacer cuentas de todos los gastos. ¿Preguntas? ¿Por ahí?
Hay un entrenamiento para usar como el Facebook o el Microsoft o algo.
Miren, aquí tenemos esas clases, ¿verdad? Vamos a tocar eso después cuando tomamos el break. Vamos a dejarlo que la acabe. Y ahorita hablamos de eso, porque ese programa que él menciona, aquí se les da clases. Usted puede tomar esa clase también aquí con nosotros y usted va aprendiendo ese programa. Hay varios programas que usted puede usar. So, yeah, sorry, Ron.
No, go right ahead. Okay, so the first part of this is understanding what you need to charge for a job, what your cost of sales are, total cost, and so what you pay. So in this example, it's a perfect example because you're making about a 50% margin, gross sales. Everything is in your business is paid out of margin. So 50% margin is like 100% markup. Have you ever wondered these stores? 50% off, 25% off, percent off. You think, how can they do that? How can they do that? I've seen 70% off. How can they do that? How can they make any money? It's because there's a thing in pricing called Keystone. They buy something for $50, they sell it for $100. So if they get 50% off, still making 50%. In fact, if Nike, Columbia, sportswear, tennis footwear, the model on that is the pricing model, just so you understand. And they should teach this in school. Just teach it in your school, you know. Nike does all the engineering and they do all the marketing for their products. And their expense to do all that is about $25. About 25. Now that's even getting the shoe made in Vietnam and getting it sent back here. And it's called landed costs. So on their cost of sales, on their financial model, they have all the materials, the sole, the outer thing, all the materials, they have all the labor, and they have all the freight. Guess how much it costs to get one pair of Nike tennis shoes shipped here from Vietnam? Anybody want to make a guess? I have been looking for that number for 10 years, and I finally found a guy that was in charge of logistics for Nike, and he told me the number. Yeah, I was excited. I've been looking for the number because I thought, you know, Vietnam's a long way. I spent a little vacation there when I was in the Army. I know it's a long way. It took me 22 hours to fly there. So I know it's a long ways away. And I know the boats don't go that big, they go that fast. Now they hold a whole bunch, but they don't go that fast. How much? 20 bucks. I thought the same. I thought it's a cost about the same. Yeah, how many? It's actually how many that you boat? The containers. Yeah, yeah. You'll be shocked. I was shocked. Do you think it's more than $5 or less than $5? Say $5, raise your hand. Less than $5. Okay, how about $3? Less or more? Less. Yeah, a lot less. How about $2? Less, more? Less. Yeah. All right, how about $1? More or less? Who'll give me a dollar? $1.25? Yeah. 35 cents. 35 cents per Nike in a box for freight. So the total cost between all the materials, all the labor, all the box, all the engineering, all the marketing for that one pair of shoes is called landed cost. It's $25. Now guess what Nike does? They double it. They double that. That's how they make gobs of money. They double that price. So their margin It's the difference between $50 and the $25. Now, they sell that shoe to Foot Locker. Guess what they do to it? They double it. That $25 pair of Nikes sells for $100. Yep. So when you go to the Nike outlet store and you get 40% off, I'm getting a hell of a deal here, you know. Or you go to Columbia, you know, oh man, I'm getting a deal. You are getting a deal. But Columbia Nike is actually making more money in their employee store than they do selling through distribution. No. If you're going to be in business, there's no deal. No. It's about making a deal here. Yeah, it is a big lie. You can't say a business selling for less than cost. First rule of business. So now, in our example here, I talked about margins, right? So if you understand this model, I don't care whether you're sheetrock, roof, trees, I don't care. The model's the same. Model's the same. You just have to figure out what it is. Now, most of the time when I was in construction, paint was the cheapest stuff we did. And commercial, when I was a general manager of a commercial construction company, paint was always the least cost on a per foot basis. So if I was building houses for $70 a square foot, I had $1 in there for paint. That's it. Had another $1 for inside. But no, paint was the. So if you do stuff by the foot, sheetrock, paint, whatever, do stuff by the square, roof, you know, there's rules of thumb for all of that stuff. And then when you set up your books, you have a chart of accounts. And so once you have it set up appropriately, you'll be able to keep track of all this stuff. Now, the second part of the equation is cash flow. Cash flow is very important. So in this particular example, you're going to sell the job and you're going to get 50% down, half down. So when you fill out the paperwork, you have the proposal, you give them a contract, you're going to say, I need half the money down now. And if you do that, you can pay your taxes, and you can buy all the materials. You haven't paid yourself yet. Now this is motivation. Go back and get the rest of it, right? So, but you're not going to lose any money. You'll have enough money to pay for all your labor and your materials on your cost of sales. So this is an ideal situation. If you work for a D.R. Horton or West Hills Development or Renaissance Home, you know, hopefully they pay you every month. But you probably pay your people every week or every 2 weeks. Very common, every 2 weeks. Now, if you get into government work, any kind of government work, local, county, state, federal, forbid, yeah, they might pay you every 2 months, maybe 3 months. So if you're paying for up front, they're not going to give you half your money, see? So you're at risk. So that means you have to have deep pockets, which means you probably have to have a revolving line of credit that allows you to call what we call prevailing wage, because you have to make payroll every Friday. Every Friday. Prevailing wage is a huge barrier for you to get through being small and start working into government work. Now, there's some great programs. We have an organization called GCAP. That means government contracting. And they will help you get your foot into the government contracting space. They're very good. Doesn't cost you anything. That's about the only thing around here that's free. And the reason it is because it's all taxpayer money. It comes through that. So, in fact, some of the people, were they here when they went to Meet the Primes?
Some of them, yeah.
Yeah, some of the primes. We had the big Meet the Primes here a week ago last Friday down in that room. Those were all the big contractors in Portland who are looking to hire people just like you. They want small contractors. and they will help you. They will help you do business with them. They will break up big jobs into smaller jobs, so your insurance and your bond will cover it. They have payment programs called Quick Pay. You submit an invoice, within 20 days, you'll get your money. You don't get your money up front. Still got to pay your people on Friday because it's prevailing wage. And there's stuff called liquidated damages. Yikes. There's stuff called retainage. Yikes number 2. Oh, sometimes you don't get paid till the very end of the job, 5% withholding. There's all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of like being advanced, but there is huge opportunity for all of you to learn all of that stuff. And we're going to teach it to you. Okay, really good cash flow here. Now, I did not know that there is not a Spanish word for lean. And I'm not talking about L-E-A-N. I'm talking about L-E-I-N. It's called embargo, isn't it? Embargo? Yeah. Does that mean hold hostage? Yeah. Lien laws in this state help you get paid. Think of them as you're purchasing it. So understanding lien law. So let's do this job. You get your $1,500 up front. And then you go back, you finish up your job, you do your walkthrough. Hopefully they're just really happy. They're going to give you a big testimonial. You can do a video and put it on your website. They're going to tell all their neighbors and family and friends how great you are so you can get more work. And they decide not to pay you. Yikes.
¿Qué significa embargo? ¿O todos sabemos? ¿No sabemos explicar?
Okay.
Everybody knows embargo.
Yeah, they did. So they pay you. Your option at that time is to put a lien on the property. Put the lien on the property. So you have to give them a notice that you're going to file the lien, put the embargo on their property. Yeah.
Guys, perdónenme, pero algunos de ustedes, por ahí, no puedo decir quién, so, hay veces que suave no se entregan esas hojas. ¿Se acuerdan esas hojas que son? Lo que está diciendo él, por eso todos dicen que el embargo, pero hay algunos que no entregamos esas hojitas por ahí. ¿Saben cuál es esa hojita? Exacto. Perfecto. Pues por favor, traten de meter esa hoja porque si no metemos problemitas. Ahorita vamos a hablar con Dayana para que unos que no han venido a la clase o algunos que invitamos no saben o no están familiarizados con esas hojas. Ahorita vamos a plantear una y se las enseñamos para que usted se familiarice, ¿okay? Y pregunte. Allá las tiene el señor, ¿verdad? Allá las tiene. Son unas hojitas que tenemos que entregar en cada contrato. Si usted no lo sabe, no hay problema. Aquí estamos para aprender. Vengan con nosotros y se entregan esas hojitas en cada contrato, por favor. Porque hay veces que también uno no sabía y no los entregaba, ¿no? Pues ya después de que estaban aquí, ya uno las entrega, ¿verdad?
¿Las hojas se tienen que entregar cada vez de una cierta cantidad o tiene que ser siempre?
Siempre antes de que empiece este trabajo.
No importando la cantidad del...
Normalmente los $2,000. ¿Perdón? Después de $2,000, pensar que $2,000, pero hay veces que ya es que haces 1,800 o algo, una vez lo que te la llama, entrégate. Para estar que tú estés seguro de que tú hay, pero después de $2,000.
So now, if you file a lien on the property, it's the lien is on the property. Now, Diana wants me to talk about realtors, and I'm eating it in time here. So if you develop a relationship, we're going to talk about this develop a relationship with people that can actually refer you so you can do those 100 jobs in those 200 working days. Everybody says, how do you do that? How do you do that? So if you file a lien on the property, you may not get paid until they sell it. So if you are hired by a property owner that wants to sell their property and get it all spruced up, in the paint example, I want to paint my house, I want to get my bark dust down, I want to get the yard all spruced up so I can get a higher price for it. that's great. You're not going to have any problems because they know if they don't pay you your $1,500, you're not going to start the job until they pay you the $1,500, pay your labor and get the materials. And if they don't pay you the other $1,500, you're going to put a lien on the property. You're going to get paid when they sell it. You will get paid out of escrow because you have a valid lien and bargain. So in this example, it's great. Now, if let's say you're working for a general contractor, a lot of you do that, subcontractor. One of the things that you want to do is have a clear understanding of what that contract that they get you to sign, when they pay, and what the conditions of payment are. We have progressive payment. If you build a big building, you know, the guy that does the push out, pours the concrete, he wants to get paid. He doesn't want to wait till the house is built. He wants to get paid, so we have progressive bill. So once it's done, the work's done, it's inspected, move on, and you get paid. When I was in residential, if you had your invoices into us by the 25th, you always got a check by the 10th. Always. Always. So when people would drive around, they'd see the job, say, hey, I'll pay you $2 more to frame my building for me. Not $8, I'll pay you $10 a foot to frame my building. And then they would leave, and then I'd see them come back about 2 months later. They said, how's that going? Well, I got $2 more a foot, but I didn't get paid. Bad. So you really want to work on all those details about when you do a proposal, you want to make sure that you have your scope of work completely identified, what you're going to do, when it's going to be done, and how they're going to get you paid. And you do that up front. You don't wait till the end to manage cash flow and margin. Okay, has everybody got this? I'm going to erase it. Okay. Oh, by the way, I should tell you, if you do this little exercise on your fixed business, let's say it's $50,000 a year. $50,000 a year. You're paying all of your expenses out of your business, including your own health insurance, including your cell phone, including your internet, all that stuff. Put your significant other on payroll. Get a little more money. It's all good, but you do that. Now, let's say this is $50,000. You're covering it by doing 100 jobs. What happens when you do 150 jobs? Does this go up? Say no. No, your cost of goods, the cost of sales is built into your transaction. So if you're covering all of this with 100 jobs, if you do 150 jobs, you're going to get all that margin flows through to the bottom line on pre-tax. That's how you get rich in America. So your goal is to figure out, here's my break even. You've heard that thing. Here's my break even. Once I have this, once you get to break even, all of that margin that you generate flows right down to the bottom line, to you. Above and beyond your 80,000. That's the magic. Let's say you did 200 jobs. I'm getting greedy, aren't I? Then you can go buy the boat and the truck and the building. Okay, that's for a different class. All right, now let's talk about this. You got all this? I'm going to erase it. Okay. All right, now to talk about what Diana wanted me to talk about. If you're doing, let's take the painting deal. I'm assuming you know your craft. You have expertise. You have been doing what you do for a long time, and you're really good at it. So I can't talk about that. You know much more than anybody. And so I think we talked last time. Your goal is to be the top 20% of everybody that does what you do in your marketplace. The top 20%, because the top 20% does 80% of the work. The other 80% do 20% of the work. So your goal is to be a top 20% contractor. Top 20%. And you do that by a couple of things. And we talked about experience. It's the goal, to have a very positive customer experience, because that's where you're going to do this. So we have a little marketing model. We call it a ladder, kind of like a pyramid. The first rung on the ladder is know you. Know you. People are not going to do business with you unless that, business cards, brochures, get your truck painted, van, get it wrapped. We have a client, wrapped his pickup, and my gosh, increase has been 30, 40% just with the wrap. He's driving around with a billboard. You know, okay, know you, like you, and that's customer experience. So when you're doing work on people's houses and inside their house, outside the house, don't let your employees throw that big gulp thing in the bushes and tromp all over my plants and do that stuff. If I'm inside, put your booties on. When you're done, clean up after every day. You know, it's that experience. That's what's going to differentiate you from other people in the space. You're going to show up on time. You're going to quit on time. You're going to have a clean space to come back to the next day. If you're not going to make it when you tell them you're going to make it, you call them first. You never get a call from a customer that says, hey, you said you're going to be here today and you don't show up. You like it? They don't like it. The customer experience is managing expectations. Doing a little extra. Now, I'm not talking about doing golf, but I'm talking about just doing a little extra. Show up a little early, leave a little late, keep your space clean, be professional. If you're a 20% contractor, you're a professional. Let me tell you what I hear the most complaints about. Most people think contractors are flakes. When I was in the building business, people love to hate their builders. They will find any reason in the world to sue you and to complain about you. And we deserved every bit of it. No, we incorporated what I'm telling you in our business. They'd sign the contract. I'd give them their closing date within 3 days. I never missed it. There was no excuse not to have their financing done. No excuse to sell their house. No excuse. No excuse to drive through my subdivisions and don't get nails in your tires. That irritated me to no end. So we had nail picking up every day before they went home. Every day. You can't have people driving through your subdivision looking to shop and buy a $350,000 house at the time and get a flat before they get out of the subdivision. That's not the right thing to do. So it's a customer experience. And that's what gets people to like you. So your goal is 20%. Know you, like you, trust you. Now, I'll show you something here. The best way that you develop referrals, okay, they're going to buy from you, and then they're going to refer you. Your main goal when you're first starting out is to get referrals. Get referrals. And so, that's not the right one. Get referrals. And this is going to fit into what Diana wants me to talk about. There we go. This is one of our clients. You may have heard of them. They're in Tiger. If you have a big mess in your house with water main breaks, water damage, a fire, something like this, you always call a restoration company. And then you all have insurance, right? You have homeowners insurance that usually pays for it. And this is one of our clients. And over a period of about, oh, I don't know. How long, Diana? How many years? He's not a 20% person. He's a 10% person. A 10%. 10%. He's never spent any money on advertising at all. Ever. Never spent anything. 300 reviews. What's the possible rating here? 5. 4.9 is like walking on water. That's unbelievable. Do you think Ryan needs to advertise? They go to the website and they see that and they start reading them. Now everybody knows reviews. Home Advisor, Yelp, Angie's List, right? You buy stuff online all the time. You take the really good reviews and throw them out because it's all your family. You take all the bad reviews and throw them out because it's all your competitors. Trashing them in politics. So you take the middle and you read them and you look for patterns and themes. And what you want to develop in your business is that customer experience that generates this. He has never paid one dime for any advertising or promotion. Not one dime. But that he lives on that. He gets more business than he can actually do. How many's he got? 35 employees now? Yeah. Started out with a pickup. Broke his leg snowboarding. Working just like everybody else does. He says, there's got to be a better way. So he started a company and so now I'm going to do it the right way. So he found people, trained them, spent money on training his people to create that customer experience, and that's what he gets. So when we all grow up, that's what we want to be like. Hi, Tim. There's one more I'll show you real quick while I got this up. No, here it is. Do we have any remodelers in here? Any remodelers? Any wannabe remodelers? Yeah. Okay. Door prize. These guys figured it out. These guys figured it out. They created systems to do a complete remodel in a week. And it's unbelievable. Not 3 months, not 6 months, 1 week. And what's really great about them, they're no more expensive than anybody else in the market. So if you got equal price, equal quality, get it done in 1 week versus 3 months, who are you going to pick? Right? Now, I will go down here. Testimonials, gallery. See all those names down there? This is co-op advertising. These are market development funds by manufacturers and distributors. They paid for all that. He didn't pay anything for that website. These people did. When I was in the development business, we spent $20,000 a week driving traffic to 7 communities, advertising. 13,600 was the Oregonian, advertising. 20,000 a week, 50 weeks, $1 million. All the people that worked for us, they all had 3 to 5% that they helped us drive traffic. Last year I was there, 2006. $920,000 of that $1 million was paid by manufacturers and distributors, not you, manufacturers and distributors to do that. That's what you want to start thinking about. Just an example. Now, we're going to talk really quick about here's what I'm going to encourage you to do. If you're doing residential, we have a client that got voted the best fence company in Portland. He was a client of ours, and he took this to heart. He was running YouTube videos on how to fix your own fence. I said, John, what are you doing? You're doing videos showing people how to do the work? Aren't you afraid all these people are going to do the work themselves? He says, well, watch the videos. I watched the videos. He's showing exactly how to do chain link fences, wood fences, doing all this stuff. I watched 2 videos. And I said, I'm not going to do that. That's too much work. I'm going to call John and do it. And that's how he built his business. And he got the award last year and the year before, Best Fence Company. And he does about, well, he does bigger than this. He's got 2 helpers. You know, does about $350,000 a year. You know, and he's doing great. And he doesn't work all that hard. But he does it is he picked up a few tips. You know, the best thing that happens to a fence person is you get a gigantic windstorm. I'm not talking about tornado. I'm talking about a windstorm. You get these late 70s and early 80s. You get a big windstorm, fences blow over. Opportunity. You go into these subdivisions, they were all built at the same time. All the roofs start failing at the same time, don't they? Fences blow down, decks start rotting, got to replace the roof. Sidewalks start coming up all over the place because they planted these little tiny trees in the parking strip. Now they're that big around and the sidewalks are going crazy. This is what I call opportunity. These are easy pickings. Easy pickings. Because I guarantee you, those houses and those subdivisions all need to be painted. All their roofs need to be replaced. All their fences need to be replaced. All their decks need to be replaced. All their bathrooms need to be remodeled. And on and on. All the sidewalk, all the driveways, all need to be replaced. So you want to find a place like this and get a job. So Tim knows this. Taught Tim this. Here's a big block. Here's a main road coming down this way. You got to turn in here. You got a street here, and you got houses here, houses here, houses here, houses here. So you come in here, and you got here. So you sell this job right here. Sell that job. You say, okay, you put a sign on this corner, on this street, your business sign, your A sign, pointer sign, your name, and then in this yard right here, you put your sign so they know how to get a hold of you. So they're coming in, they're driving in here, and you're working on this one house. Fence blew down. Coming in here, they see this sign, they see this sign. And what you tell people, you get your flyer, get your door hanger, and you go 10 houses this side, 10 houses this side, 20 houses on this side, and you put your door hanger. Guess what you put on your door hanger? One of your neighbors is getting their house painted, and we have a friends, family, and neighbor discount if you do it the same time we're working in this neighborhood. Call my cell phone for more information. It's a hell of a good idea, and it works. You'll be surprised. And then you get another one. Guess what happens? You put another sign up. You got momentum, right? So you give this person that you did, you give them a $100 discount. $100. Charge them $3,000, give them $100. That comes out of that fixed overhead. That's part of your marketing expense. This that you do over here, you say, my normal price on this is $3,000. But because you're doing it, and I don't have to drive all over town in my same neighborhood, I'm going to give you $100 off. That comes out of that $700 that goes into this fixed expense. You just keep doing that. Now you're actually making more money because you are eliminating drive time, windshield time. People can show up. You might be able to do 1.5 houses in 2 days. What's that do to you? Flows right to the bottom line on pre-tax. Margin gets better. Now, you always want to make sure that you give people something. Because if you do all this and they throw all your flyer stuff away, which most of them will, give them something. Give them something. People still put stuff on your refrigerators, your kids' drawings, give them something. People in HVAC, put your stickers on them. Sticker. Every fence John does gets a sticker on it with his number. When your neighbor's fence blows down, call me. Put a sticker on it. And it's not a one-time deal. Sometimes you might have to plant those seeds 3 or 4 times before they sprout. But once you get into it, and then all these people, you're a 20% contractor, and they're really happy with their experience, start referring you. Now, if they give you a 4.5 rating on Yelp, Home Advisor, Angie's List, that's the best. That's the goal. One of the reasons to have a website. It's part of your promotion material. Now, I put here networking. If I were all of you, you want to talk about real estate. Here's what happened. I have a house and I want to sell it. So I go to one of my friends and they are the listing agent. By the way, I used to have my real estate license and I had like 18 realtors work for me. So I've done this hundreds of times. There's a listing agent. And there's pressure in the marketplace. Used to be 5 Rex Homes down at, you hear all that advertisement. There is some pressure on real estate deal. But let's say it's 4%. That's about the average anyway. Listing agent, and then they have a buyer's agent. And when I was in new construction, I was a listing agent and the buyer agent most of the time. Some people come in, I've got a buyer's agent, they list with us, and they got a cut. And in this case, 2.4%. You split it with these people. The listing agent charges the seller the 4%. Buyer's agent doesn't pay a dime. Now, what Diana wanted me to talk to you about is making sure that if somebody calls you and you have a relationship, we're going to talk about that here in a minute, that you make sure that if you're doing work on the home, you're making sure that it's the homeowner. The homeowner. Because when you put the embargo on, if somebody else contracts you to do the work and then you put a lien on their house and the owner of the property does not condone that, you're not going to get paid. Said you can't do that. So the owner of record on the trust deed needs to be the one that approves your contract and authorizes your proposal. Make sense? Common sense. Then every once in a while, people get scammed a little bit. Now, here's the goal of networking. And it's the same goal as belonging to the Chamber of Commerce. There's 5 chambers of commerce in Clackamas County. We belong to all 5 of them. The big one here is North Clackamas, 4 members there. And I hear this all the time. People join the chamber. I never get any work out of the chamber. I spent my $280 to get any jobs in the chamber. Hear it all the time. That's not the goal. The goal. If an organization has 500 members, each one of them know 100 people. Your goal is to have all of those people have enough confidence and credibility in you because you're a 20% contractor and you manage the customer experience like nobody's business, and they feel confident about referring you. That's the goal. That's the goal. So, realtors, when you're just starting out, getting hooked up with realtors so they know you, and because you're a 20% contractor, they like you because they work that are part of the 80% contractors. They are a great source of referral business to you. A great source. And what they like is a team. They like a team. They want a roofer. They want a painter. They want a concrete guy. They want an HVAC person. They want a plumber, and they want an electrician. And they want a fence person and a deck. Because when they list my house over here, they're going to do an analysis, say, well, I'm going to do comps. Your house is worth $300,000 in the marketplace. But in order to sell it and get your price out of it, you're going to have it painted. You're going to have to fix your sidewalks and your driveway. You're going to have to do your landscaping. And oh, that rotten deck out back that you don't think anybody's going to see, that's going to have to be replaced. Oh, that leaning fence over here that's hanging out, that's got to be fixed. People want to go into a house and not spend a whole gob of money. Now, some people do. So if I list my house for $300,000, and the buyer's agent comes in, they look at it, they're going to do a home. It's going to cost you $750 to $800 for a home inspector to come in, crawl under the house, crawl into the attic, look for dry rot, check your windows, and they're going to make a list. So that's why this selling agent, the listing agent, it says, we spruce this place up, because when they go, they're going to make a list and they're going to knock $40,000 off of your list, off your price, because they're going to have to do all that work. So they want to discount my selling price. So a lot of work gets done up front. A lot of work. So if you're in the neighborhood and you see a for sale sign and it's a dump, I'd be knocking on the door. You know what? I'm working with one of your neighbors right down the street. You get this fixed, I'll give you the friends, family, neighbor discount. You're going to pay now or you pay me later. So you get a home inspection and it'll list all those things. Typically, you're going to have to do them, or you're going to have to put money in a reserve account at escrow that gets and you're going to get paid. That's how that works. So, and then what happens is their finance person does an appraisal, and the selling person pays that. The buyer pays for the home inspection, the seller pays for it. That's how it works. What you're concerned about is the home inspection. So if you have a team, like I'm suggesting that you figure out how to do this, and I'll tell you the requirements. If it used to be oil and there's a buried tank, you're going to have If it's got paint on it and it was built back in Yahaha, it was got lead paint. If it's got not acoustic, popcorn ceiling, probably got some asbestos in it. I mean, the list goes on. And now in this state, when you sell your house, you're going to have the sewer line from the house to the main point. So if you find an older house that had an oil furnace in it, painted with lead paint, and that sewer line's old, I mean, we're talking about some serious dollars here, which is all your money. All your money. So making connections with realtor groups about your capability and what you can do is really your goal to get into that network. And once you're in, it's great. As long as the housing market stays like it. January was the highest sales in 3 years. So it's still a great market.
We see I have the deed of trust for the homeowner. I would find out who the homeowner is.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. More than likely, the realtors themselves, they're not going to list a house. The listing agent is not going to list a house for somebody that doesn't own it. They're not going to list it for a renter. They're going to have to list it for an owner. There's a few exceptions but you're kind of getting in the weeds, you know. Doesn't happen very often. Yeah. All right. It's time for dinner. Oh.
Hey, everybody got it? Come get one. Okay. Good job, Ron. Very good. That's what they needed. There's Tim. Yay! He promised. All right.
Now, can you remember to hit recording when you start?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to pause.
Okay, I will hit.
Okay, next. Una playera.
So it has to be somebody small. Okay, if you're not very small, you can just call. Put your name back there.
J.A. Drywall Construction. J.E. Construction Drywall. Oh, let's find something for that one.
Is that okay? Look at the relationship.
¿Esto ve?
How's that?
¿Está José?
That's more you think.
Oh, sí, José. A ver, chiquita, José. Quiero que la agarre para... ¿Una más? There you go.
A painting. What's with painting? You guys are like,
¿Los pintores? ¿Quién es? Painting, ¿quién es? ¿Nobody? I know, puros papeles, ¿verdad? Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, sí, cierto, gracias.
okay, Díaz Construction.
¿Tú ese? ¿Quién es? Díaz León. ¿Qué es? ¿Camiseta? ¿Camiseta? ¿Camisetita?
Need a little something.
Okay. ¿Una small? Ahí está este small. Dice, she's small, so you don't have to look at it. Maybe construction?
Yes.
¿Quién es? Oh, there you go. She's gonna figure it out. There you go. Sorry, Ana. Good. Una más, tarjeta.
Okay.
Oscar
Oscar Hernandez.
Hernández, there you go. Camiseta. Oscar. ¿Tarjeta o papel?
Papel amarillo.
¿Papel amarillo? Pacific. Bravo. Pacific Bravo. Ok, ¿quién le gustan militares? ¿Tarjeta o papel?
Okay. Gabriel Barbosa.
Gabriel Barbosa, que se la doy.
Take a business card.
Business card.
Ooh, quality leadership, the whole carpentry man. It's cost construction. It's cost.
¿Quién es ese? Oh, ese. Yo me fui de las Chivas. ¿Qué le damos a las Chivas o a la América? Vamos. PDX, construction.
That's way too big.
Step it.
I want the hot is there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
thank you, man.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. So he doesn't want that one now. He wants to get it back. Roofing Construction, LLC.
Hey, roofing.
¿Qué pasa si les digo por su nombre de licencia? ¿A poco sí se acuerdan de su licencia? 228336, su licencia. Ahí va. Así que ya, this stuff doing that thing.
40/40 property maintenance and repair.
What is it?
40/40 property maintenance.
Is here?
Yeah.
All right, good. All right.
There you go.
Thank you. Joaquín Sorcia. ¿Es por allá, no? There you go. La cita y ese para el Lorenzo. Lorenzo, ¿está Lorenzo? Tribu Construction. Está bonita esa casita, ¿eh? Howard. Ahorita la casita. Ahorita. Déjate, busco para arriba la tarjeta. I know, that's what I did. Dale, ya la puse. After painting. There you go. Una más. ¿Papelito o tarjeta? Tarjeta. Sí, tienes cuatro. No lo puse arriba. ¿Qué dice? ¿Qué? Ahorita sale. ¿Quién es? Ya vas a empezar a jugar golf. But you know what? Let's give you some glasses.
Okay, I use that.
Do some glasses cuando te
Yeah,
entro
glasses.
algo.
So now you'll be cool. Okay.
Some glasses. Also, thank you.
And Daisy Brothers.
Is your brothers? Is your brother?
Okay.
No, va, te pones los dos más. Toma.
Sacrifice marble.
Se acaba ya todo. ¿Quién? ¿Tú? Lo digo, sí, mira, estamos ¿Listo? Ya me cansé. Dijimos que era una rifa chiquita y voy a sacar un de estos.
No, you got some little stuff. Except one tag.
The last one, the last one.
Mine was custom construction. Right. Now, there's still stuff over here. So, on your way out the door. And if you have kids, it'll be popular.
Se los llevan. Vamos a estar pasando esta forma. Si es tan amable de ver su nombre aquí, le pone su firma, por favor, y su nombre de su compañía, ¿ok? Esta forma es por los que ya algunos se registraron, pero algunos se pasaron y no están en la lista. Pero la vamos a pasar así. Nada más va a ser la persona responsable de la compañía. Si vienen 2 o 3, no pongan el nombre, nada más pónganse ustedes, el RMI, pero busquen lo que venga aquí en la forma, por favor, para que les lleven su Continuing Education. So, please fill out this paper, ¿ok? Por favor. Tan amable, empezamos por aquí.
Okay.
Si no está su nombre ahí, están unas hojas atrás en blanco y se apunta, por favor, para que les den esas horas. Si no viene su nombre ahí, se pone, por favor, esa hoja que vamos a pasar a cada quien. No importa, por eso están las blancas de atrás. Nombre y teléfono. So if you don't the list, just check it out because I think you need like 3 hours for continuing education, right? So just write it down so we can give you some certificates. So just write it down, just in case they don't have it. Yes, that's gonna be those 3 hours for you. Even we do a little raffle, that's included. So that's what we do. So, guys, esta hoja, algunos firmaron un poquito tarde para la clase, los que son de Blueprint, y muchas personas nuevas están haciendo construcción, están haciendo framing y concreto. Entonces va a venir el de Blueprint, porque hicimos una encuesta que quieren que vuelva a venir esta persona, pero dicen que se quedaron muy callados con la de Blueprint. Entonces quieren que nosotros empezamos a participar en las clases. Por ejemplo, si usted tiene un tema un poco delicado y va a venir del CCB, va a venir las personas ya para que usted pueda preguntar algo que usted quiera. Esta hoja, léala, póngale la forma aquí, lo que usted quiera, los temas, porque viene un tema abierto y queremos ver, porque muchos ya van a contratar empleados, quieren hablar de las taxas de los empleados, las taxas de los de nosotros, cómo podemos hacerlo mejor. Entonces queremos saber de ustedes su opinión. Esta hoja es bien importante que usted la llene y me la regrese, por favor. La estamos pasando, ya muchos la tienen. Puede empezar a llenar si quiere ahorita, me la deja de una vez, por favor. Just give it like 4 or 5 minutes, so they have to fill out this form. And I know it's in Spanish, yes. Let me go ask her and we will do it. ¿Que la quieren en inglés? La tenemos en inglés también, ¿ok? You want in English, right? Yeah, she forgot to bring it over. Son unas 3 o 4 formas.
Lost my breath before you guys.
That's why I was.
Where did he go?
Yes, I started like 7 years.
¿Todos se llenaron sus formas? ¿Tú vas a inglés? Ya, pero la...
Mira, ¿qué podría hacer? So,
We can start.
Vamos a empezar a esta hojita, por favor, nosotros nomás, yo sé que
Estamos platicando y no la estamos llenando. Creo que es importante. Es really important for us, guys, porque así estamos tocando los temas, porque vienen personitas y están tocando los temas entre ustedes mismos y a veces no nos atrevemos a decir, ¿sabes qué? Yo quiero este tema, podemos hacerlo. Yo hago lo que estamos haciendo ahorita, vemos cuántos son del mismo tema y podemos traer a la persona indicada para ustedes en 2 clases, ¿verdad? Entonces es bien importante que ustedes nos hagan saber. Pues ahí usted póngale, esta es mi primera vez, ahí póngame, escríbame ahí en todo lo que es, porque hay unos que ya han venido, ya vienen desde octubre. Los que vamos empezando, vamos a empezar con los temas que empezaron con estas clases. Por eso queremos dividirlos. Eso va a ser el siguiente tema. Por eso para los que ya hemos venido los 9 meses o
Okay, I need 3 volunteers, please. All right.
Si pasan la hoja una por una, junta. Guys from you.
Okay, 2 more volunteers. Hand out some more. Thank you very much. 1 more volunteer, please. I don't.
Ahí va pasando la amarilla. ¿Dónde está la hojita? Where's the paperwork? Right there, guys. Fill out the form. No, la otra, la amarilla. La de las clases. The red class? Oh, perfect, yeah.
Next. Back, Lourdes, if you would have the room, that'd be awesome. Take the back half and she can start with the rest. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Do you need more of these? Oh, we're really out? Going around, I hope. Yeah, hope. Thank you.
Pásense de la derecha, just go past it to the other side. Yo la recojo de este lado, por favor.
Okay. Everybody got one? You really want one? Hello? There, is that better? There. Okay. So everyone has one of these? Okay. Let's thank you to my volunteers. The last ones are passing stuff out. Thank you. All right, thank you. How many of you sit down and read magazines? Like, come on, a show of hands. Do you ever read a magazine, a trade journal? Oh, come on. Okay, thank you. Okay, you have too much to eat. All right. There is a perfect article in here for you guys. It is on page 8. Turn to page 8. There you go. All right. How many of you have heard the word business plan before? The phrase, you need one. By the end of this class, I want you to have a business plan. Does anyone know why plan? Well, let me tell you why you want a business plan, and I'm going to get Rudolfo up here. This is not, it goes in, hello, hello, hello. I don't know. All right, a business plan is very important in what you do because first of all, it determines if you get a loan. You cannot get a loan without a business plan. And so this gentleman in the article realized that. Transition to a new business without it. He couldn't get funding. How many of you think you're going to need funding for your business? Every hand should go up in this room. Okay.
El artículo, él no realizó que él necesitaba tener bien todo para buscar un prestado, ¿verdad? Para pedir prestado, para ver cómo lo iba a hacer. Entonces, en el artículo de atrás podemos ver la hoja, ¿verdad? ¿Qué es lo que dice? Sí, en el artículo de atrás. No.
Page.
La página 8.
Page 8.
Let me grab one of those for me.
Here. Page 8. There you go.
Página 8. Dice que tenemos que tener un business plan, ¿verdad? Aquí en la página 8 dice que muchos de nosotros nada más llegamos, hacemos nuestra compañía y ya hacemos como se pueda, ¿verdad? Hay algunas personas que están viniendo y ya tienen 3, 4 meses con nosotros y apenas están empezando a correr su compañía y todo le está saliendo tranquilo y de maravilla. ¿Por qué? Que aseguranzas, que y de los años.
Okay. So we want to get you started on your business plans. That's why I ask everyone to sit at a desk. The second handout that you got is the start. This is the first part of your business plan. And we're going to take a stab at it and that for the next about 10 minutes, get into planning and zoning. So this paper, you're going to work on your executive summary. So you're going to have 5 minutes to sit down and write what makes your business important. What do you want to tell me about your business and yourself? Because don't you want something from me? You want me to either A, finance your business, B, you want me to be a customer, or maybe you want me for you. You have to be able to articulate your business to the very people you hire. If you can't be excited about it, why should they work for you? Right? So 5 minutes, write down what you'd like to tell somebody about your business. Why should they invest their time, their money, or whatever in your business?
So en esa hojita que les dio, 5 minutos tenemos, vamos a escribir ahí, porque la persona pasa como un business plan ahí pequeño. Díganos acerca de su compañía. ¿Por qué usted va a vender ese business plan? ¿Cómo usted lo va a desarrollar? ¿Qué es lo que usted va a hacer? ¿O cómo usted se puede presentar con un business plan para que nos hagan un para entender cómo podemos hacer un business plan? Ahorita, le abre la hoja que dice, estamos a en inglés, ¿verdad? ¿Ok? Entonces la traducimos toda. Dice que escriba su negocio. Escríbalo. ¿Qué vamos a hacer en su negocio en el párrafo número 1? Escriba su negocio. Vamos a empezar. ¿Cómo describe su negocio?
No, en español o en inglés. No, no importa. Usted describe the business. All right. Just 5 minutes, guys. Ustedes describan su negocio. So 140. Grande va a ser lo de Juan. Algunas veces vamos a empezar un trabajo y
A few extras.
for the exercise you wanted to talk about? Or no?
This is gonna go with finance. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I gave to everyone.
yep, good.
But what this one is here? Oh, there.
Yeah, I'll have it up.
So that one needs to pick it up. That one, or they keep it that one? They write it on the plan, business plan.
I want them to keep it because they're gonna take it home and work on it some more. I'm so proud of you. You're doing great. Okay, let's take a break. So would anyone like to share theirs? Do I have a volunteer?
¿Quiere compartir? No, nadie, somos casi. Aquí tenemos un voluntario. ¿Cómo se llama el-
Okay. There you go.
Yo me dedico a instalar gabinetes, las cocinas integrales, y así es el mío. Mi negocio es un negocio familiar que ofrece calidad para sus clientes. Sabemos que la cocina es el corazón de los hogares. Es por eso la importancia que se le dedica a cada trabajo en el proyecto de tus gabinetes.
And what is that? The project is like the kitchen, right? When you want to do a project for the huge house, so you know all the women, what are they looking for? La mujer, what are they coming to look at the house?
Kitchen.
So that's what he does, and es lo que hacen en los gabinetes. Un pequeño eslogan y se mete, ¿verdad? Introducción. Porque acuérdense que cuando nos presentamos, te vas a presentar su negocio, ¿ok? Eso es bien importante. ¿Alguien más?
So if you would translate that.
Yeah, I translate them. How they can do the kitchen.
Okay, good.
So, ¿alguien más? Another volunteer? ¿Alguien más? Okay. There you go.
Great.
Que la compañía es AJB Colors. Es una compañía familiar de calidad en cada trabajo que con el tiempo puede dar oportunidad de empleo a más personas. A aprender a llevar bien el negocio con amabilidad y nuestro fuerte es General Contractor, es pintura, remodelaciones, roofing, en otras cosas.
Great. Very good. So I got you on spur of the moment. Now imagine if you just could reel that off right off your tongue. You're talking to the lady at. Could you say that just comfortably to that person?
Dice que si llegamos allá a las cajeras, acuérdense que el negocio se funciona como introduciendo su negocio, ¿verdad? Vendiéndolo. El customer service, el marketing, cómo lo podemos vender, tenemos que estar practicando para ver cómo presentamos nuestro plan. Cómo vamos a agarrar clientes, ¿verdad? Es lo que nos quiere enseñar ahí un poquito, porque a veces nosotros somos muy como que nos da pena, como que no queremos, pero acuérdense que ya afuera hay personas que les pagan por eso. Pues nosotros es nuestro negocio, pues nadie nos va a pagar por eso hasta que tengamos los trabajos, ¿verdad? Entonces es bien importante que nosotros empecemos a realizar cómo podemos vender nuestro producto, cómo podemos ofrecer nuestro producto.
So imagine if you could deliver that same thing, look at them. Practice it. Everybody you can think of, even ask for feedback from people and make it better and better. And you're going to find that if you can say it, your family can say it, and isn't that what you want? Yes. Okay. This is your executive summary. That's one part of the business plan down. As soon as you refine it, check. Done.
¿Qué pasa? Quiero como meter un poquito más el resumen con ella. Estamos viendo mucho la necesidad que están llegando a abrir las compañías. Entonces, a veces estamos enseñando clases un poquito más avanzadas, un poquito más elevadas, ¿verdad? Entonces, que queremos tocar esos temas desde el principio. Cómo se toca todo, business card, cómo se llena un contrato. Pues cada clase que usted tiene se está enseñando todo eso, ¿verdad? Yo sé que algunas personas ya tienen algunos años en la compañía. Que empezamos el negocio, ¿cómo podemos llegar a vender nuestro producto? ¿Cómo podemos hacer para ¿verdad? Desde una business card, los teléfonos, cómo se pone todo, ¿verdad? Hay veces que tenemos ese problemita, le pusimos el teléfono mal y muchos llegamos aquí o llegan con nosotros, mira, ya está mi negocio funcionando, oye, y no tiene a veces, no, pues entonces son detallitos que ella quiere remarcar porque son las necesidades que la gente está viniendo con nosotros, ¿ok? Por eso estamos recalcando cada vez que estamos hablando aquí en frente.
I have a goal for you. From every day between now and when we get together again, you can get Sundays off or your day that you maybe take off with your family. I want you to hand out 20 business cards and practice 20. Do I have your commitment? 20? Okay, 20. Okay.
So 20 tarjetas, y es un buen challenge. You want to do 20 a day or you want to do it?
20 a day.
20 tarjetas al día, usted tiene que salir. Y se acuerdan que a la clase pasada, los que no vinieron, la clase pasada, creo que ¿se acuerdan de la clase?
9%.
Thank you, sir.
That's right.
So, no, de verdad, no, lo vemos, ¿verdad? Pero fíjense, muchos nos enfocamos al trabajo, 100% al trabajo, pero se nos acabó ese trabajo y este 20% lo está invirtiendo para el marketing, para todo lo que usted aprende, no va a llegar más trabajo. A veces nosotros, ¿verdad? Mi patrón no hace nada, el patrón está dormido. Okay?
The 20. All right. How many of you are really excited about learning more about your customers and jobs that are out there? Okay. How many of you are proud about what you do? I'd like you to stand up. Are you proud of what you do? Stand up. If you're not proud, you can sit down, but if you're proud, you better stand up. Nobody better be sitting. Everybody better stand. I'm going to sit here till everybody stands. Okay? Everybody. Everybody gets to stand. Everybody, need I say it again? Everybody standing. Don't make me. Be proud of what you do. Okay, stand up for what you do. Okay, thank you. All right. All right. This is the weirdest mic. All right, we handed out big pieces of paper. If you want to know, when you go to someone's house, how do you know they're the owner? Did you not get one? Okay. There's some more. Okay. Okay. So let me take you back to the beginning. But remember last time we practiced something, didn't we? And that was rolling up the contract for a customer. How do you know that person in front of you is the property owner? Do you know? This is the answer. I need a hear from the audience. Mind writing, because you're going to.
No todos, tranquilos. ¿Necesitamos una personita?
One volunteer.
¿Una voluntaria?
Come on.
¿Qué pasó con esos que vamos a participar 20 tarjetas al día? Imagínense. Una persona ocupamos nada más. Just one. Okay, there we go. Tenemos un voluntario.
Voy a practicar mi
All right.
Exacto. Pásale.
This gentleman is going to be your guide for information. What he writes down, you want to write down, okay? So if you want to know if this customer owns property, here's the secret.
Si usted quiere saber quién es el dueño de la propiedad, es que nos han llamado varias personitas y tienen problemas con eso y han hecho tratos con esas personas y esos no son los dueños. Entonces
Okay.
el dueño los está corriendo del lugar. Entonces hay que tener cuidado, es bien importante.
So you're going to write down portlandmaps.com. So P-O-R-T, that's okay. You're close, it's P-O, yeah. P-O-R-T, that's okay, you're fine.
Está nervioso, déjame estar.
You'll have it, okay. portlandmaps.com. Okay? All right. Maps. What comes up? It's a map. Look what's up in the corner. It's asking for an address. You will know the address.
Fíjense lo que está en la esquina, cuando entran a su aplicación, se van del lado derecho y ya le está preguntando por la dirección.
This takes memory. For those of you that think you're going to run all this on your phone, no. You either need an iPad or you're going to need to do it on a laptop or a desktop computer.
Que tenemos que usar eso. Yo sé que hay algunos que nos dicen, ¿verdad? Llegan y vienen con su teléfono, no muchos dicen, no, yo traigo mi medidor, tengo el teléfono, no, son un poquito más profesionales, pero no lo pueden hacer con su teléfono, sí se puede, pero va a ser más difícil. Agárrense una tableta y bájense download las aplicaciones, se ven un poquito más cuando llegamos a los trabajos y ya lo puede hacer ahí mismo, ¿no? Póngale su internet y ya lo checa rápido y llega con esa misma tableta, abra varias aplicaciones y de algunas aplicaciones vamos a hablar después.
Let's say your address is 123 Ainsworth. Okay? So what I'm going to write down for us is top right-hand corner, enter address. This right hand, yes. Okay.
Vamos a meter la dirección ahí en esa esquina, ¿ok?
So I picked the first one, and look what I found out about this residence. If I was going to go do a bid for them, I found out when it was built. That's kind of important for you to know. This is where realtors go when they want to find out who owns the property. They want to find out how old it is. They also can see on here how big it is. You need to know that. It tells you the neighborhood that it's in, how it is zoned, because that determines what you're going to do there sometimes. It tells you the elevation, but look at that owner. Vinton, Adam T. owns that property. Does everybody see that? It also tells you his address. Yes. This is the Portland Metro. It includes Portland and Clackamas, Portland Metro. Yes, it does. But I'm going to go through Clackamas County, come to the conclusion, if I go through every place you can look up customers, I'm going to lose you tonight. I want to make sure you get this. So this is Portland Metro. This is the majority of cities that you will operate in, okay? And now look at the next sets of information. Permits and zoning. You find out what permits are on this property. You click on that. It tells you anything you want to know. In zoning districts, any capital improvement projects, which there are none on this one. But if there was something, it tells you what's going on there. So it tells me anything that has been done in that area, on that block. Know that. It tells me everything I'm going to want to know. So when I go talk to that customer, I could also know the schools that are nearby. Talk about getting to know that customer. I can say, hey, I see you're near, do you have any kids in the Portland School District? And here are the schools, the elementary, middle, and high school of where their kids probably attend or grandkids. You want to develop a rapport with someone? Learn where their family is involved. Maybe you have a link to that. Maybe you went there once upon a time, right? So the best thing is you're not going to end up with a contract with someone who's not the owner because you know who the owner is of the property. If the owner of this property meets with you, what do you do? You're going to ask more questions. You're going to ask, gosh, I see that the owner of this property is Adam Vinton. I checked on it before I came. Is there, by chance, you're a son or someone else? A daughter? And then you can find out if they're acting as an executor of an estate. They're acting, you know, maybe their parent is sick. And they're ready to go pick up Adam at the hospital because he's had an accident. And so he's not there to arrange for the ramp to be built to his home. So then you ask for their power of attorney that allows them to, besides the owner of the property. That means they are their authorized agent. Okay. So I'll let you go through that. So there's schools. Oh.
O sea, vamos un poquito como para por lo que ella estaba diciendo, ¿verdad? Lo que normalmente nos dicen a nosotros cuando tomamos clases o hacemos algo, que al least tenemos que tener siquiera unos 10 minutos cuando vamos a hacer una estimación, conocer un poquito. Lo que ella nos está tratando de decir es que veamos, cuando vamos a hacer el contrato, ¿verdad? Veamos qué Entonces la persona se pone a pensar y dice, bueno, ¿y él cómo sabe que 4.500? ¿No? Hay personas que son un poquito como, ok, gracias. Llega otra persona, empieza a hablar, le dedica 10 minutos, mire, ya toqué el tema, ya ve quién es el dueño, pregunta si tiene esto, si sale un perrito, oh, qué bonito, qué raza es. Pues ellos estaban a entender que rompamos eso, ¿verdad? Que primero le estudiemos un poquito a nuestro cliente, tanto como las escuelas, dónde son, qué año es la casa y todo, ver dónde está todo, ¿verdad? Por los que algunos sabíamos, a la casa de 1900 para abajo, plomo algunos, ¿verdad? ¿Se acuerdan? ¿Qué año es? Okay. Entonces es bien importante lo que dijo ella, ¿verdad? Que en 1927 esa casa, ¿qué puede tener? Sin nada, ya nos han hablado y nos han dicho, tenía plomo y no tengo ni la licencia de plomo y así la estoy haciendo. Entonces ella quiere que nos concienticemos en toda forma, vamos a hacerlo, ¿ok?
What else? This map. Look at all the other homes near it. Doesn't it give you an idea? So when I said 20 a day, I mean, gosh, you just go around that neighborhood, you've got your 20. Okay. Are there any questions before I change this? Yes. This is the one for Portland Metro, and I will show you other aspects of what portland.gov offers. So that's going to offer everything within the Portland. Okay, good question. Thank you.
Oh, that's a good question. You say before, you say 20 business card that we have to do. We have to just put it on the door, or we have to eye contact or practice? There you go.
Okay. Question. So his question was, is he gonna just hand it, leave it on the door? Which one do you think earns you the most customers? Actually have to go talk to people. That's where you practice it. You learn to be conversational. You have homework. Practice. Okay? You actually will find it's fun.
Tenemos que practicar, ¿verdad? Y es que aquí hay varias jovencitas y todo tiene que presten a su papá, ¿ok? Porque él es el que va a estar allá afuera. No va a hablar con su hija, le va a decir, permítame, deje encontrar a mi hija para que me traduzca. So, guys, no quiero como right, pero ustedes tienen que practicar. Voy a hablar, voy a hacerlo, todo eso ustedes tienen que hacerlo. ¿Okay? Ella está preocupada porque vienen muchos papás y vienen con los hijos y todo, entonces we have to try to guys. Queremos enseñarlos para que ustedes también lo podamos hacer, ¿ok?
Okay.
Yes, perdón.
Bueno, como tienen los muchachos de los hijos, también ellos nos pueden ayudar a corregirnos cómo vamos a practicar.
Exacto, que no tengamos pena. Y el hijo, por favor, no se den menos inglés, por favor. Es bueno que el hijo pues, le ayude, ¿no? Y no se enoje el papá también que nos esté corrigiendo del inglés, porque su inglés de ellos está bien. Y a veces de nosotros tenemos el acento, si ustedes se dan cuenta. Right? So she was saying, you know, the kids, they don't make a fun of my English or the English of their parents. You know,
Exactly.
they practice. So, yes, sir.
No es para asustarlos, pero tienen que ir preparados porque 100% les van a entrar a política. Porque yo he tenido experiencia incluso desde el 2004. Tirábamos nosotros, poníamos paquetes en las puertas como 600 o 700.
Those things.
Y empezamos a hacerlo para el 2015, 2016. Y cada cliente o cada persona es diferente que le toca esa puerta.
Okay.
Lo sabía, le toca esa puerta, a veces se lo rompe y ves que tienen un letrero donde dicen que no puede solicitar nada. Hay otros letreros que tienen que códigos de oro como la ley tal, y si tú de tu propiedad, llama a policía, el policía llega y te dice que tienes que informar más, no puedes estar entrando, tocando la puerta. Es bueno, es lo que dicen ellos, pero para que vayan preparados.
Practican con el policía un poquito también. No, pues tiene razón. Muy buena pregunta. Muy buena pregunta. Sí, vieron. Él tiene experiencia en eso y él sabe lo que está hablando. Y yo les digo que tengamos cuidado. Uno les da las ideas y ustedes vean, ¿no? Los códigos dicen, no toquen la puerta ahí, ¿no? Hay muchos que son un poquito delicados. Y acuérdense que hay áreas donde sabemos luego que va a estar un poco difícil, entonces tengan cuidado de dónde pisamos, ¿verdad? Ya.
No entendieron nada, yo creo. De los que hablan.
So he was saying that we have to be careful. She'll explain.
Yes.
She's going to explain it right now. Yeah, va a explicar.
So he brought up a great problem. Is there a solution to that? Do you not have a map that tells you every address for all the neighbors around there? If it says no soliciting, you need to honor that. There is no soliciting. So how do you make those contacts? What about a postcard? You have all their addresses. Send everybody in that neighborhood a postcard. Okay?
A decir eso y hay otras opciones que usted puede hacer llegar su propaganda, ¿ok? Hay opciones, hay que buscarlas. ¿Preguntas?
And if you want to personalize it, see how you have his address? Now let's change it and put in this address right here. It said 105, right? 105, Ainsworth. Let's see what we do when we have that. I know who to address the postcard to. So, does no soliciting does not mean that I can't contact them. And how nice would it be if you gave a postcard that said, hi, like Rob said earlier today, I'm in the neighborhood. It's my privilege to serve your neighbors and your friends. Maybe you have some construction you've been thinking about. Give us a call. We can cut you a great deal while we're in the neighborhood. You know, there's something. Okay. All right. Any questions? Thank you for bringing that up. That's a very good question.
Yes, the post needs to go the name of the owner or the resident.
I would, for me, you have two choices. You can say resident, or do you think that odds are they're going to look at it if you say, you know, dear Mr., what is that one? A dear Mr. Personal, nicely written. I think it would probably get their attention. What about a yard sign that says, hi, we have the privilege of serving this neighbor. Give us a call. We can cut you a good deal. We want to let you know we're in the neighborhood. Okay. All right. So now you know in the Portland metro area how to find who is where. No surprises. And then do you train your staff when you're going to go look at who the customer is? This is Mr. and Mrs. Jorge Lopez. Do you tell them that, the customer's name before you go? We're going to greet our customer, Mrs. Lopez, how are you today? Not just hello, hola, right? You are going to, I mean, do you not win a place in their heart when you know their name? Take the time to educate yourself and your staff who they are. And they may even say along the way their kids' names. Be kind enough to say hi. Be friendly with them. I know there are boundaries, but you can still be friendly. Okay. When do I need a permit? The whole reason I gave this to you is so many violations are occurring because you don't know when you have to have a permit, and this is the city of Portland. So they produced this. I think, or maybe you needed a zoning permit because you were changing things. So as an example, in Portland, if you're going to build a one or two, you have to have a permit. Who builds a house without one? You know that. But look at some of the other things. If you plan on enclosing a patio or carport, did you know you need a permit? This is where you as a licensed contractor can make such a difference for your customer. Because you could go ahead and do the work and no permit. Do you know what happens to them? As soon as they sell the property or the appraiser comes out and they find something has been done that has not gotten a permit, the homeowner is given an opportunity of removing it or pay a fine, which is usually very large, or they may be told that they have to remove it and pay a fine. Who do you think they're going to come back on when that happens? To get the permit, they have your contractor ID. That tells you something else. They're only working with people like you that have your CCB license. So they're working with someone legitimate under the table. Okay. And go ahead.
Cuidado donde vamos a construir o vamos a necesitar permiso en el área de Portland. Puede ser que le hagan a usted que pague una multa o le hagan que quite lo que puso, o puede ser que en algunas ocasiones pague la multa y quite las cosas que tiene que hacer y quién cree que lo va a hacer.
Okay.
Cuidado.
On that permit thing is that if the homeowner has ever had anything done that wasn't take the liability of, contractor never told me, he just came in and did this.
Exactly.
And it's all fine until they want to see someone pay up, and they're gonna come to the cheapest spot.
Thank you so much for sharing that. So, ¿sí le entendimos lo que dijo? ¿No se escucha? Ok, dice que nosotros como nuevos contratistas tengamos cuidado porque hay personas allá afuera que son muy astutas, ¿verdad? Ellos han hecho cambios y nosotros somos como, tú sabes, nuestra gente, ¿verdad? No, nosotros hacemos ese cambio, no se dan cuenta. Empieza a tocar cosas y lo que él dice en su propia experiencia, hay veces que los mismos dueños ya hicieron algunas modificaciones, ya cambiaron. Entonces ya nada más le llaman a alguien como nosotros y lo empieza a tocar. Entonces él dice, ¿sabes qué? Yo hablo, igual contratista nunca me dijo nada, entonces tú vas a pagar todo lo que es lo que él está compartiendo esa experiencia. Entonces dice, tengan cuidado, para un permiso, vean primero, porque hay muchos que hacemos adiciones en el garaje, ¿no? Yo he visto muchos, ¿no? Que hacemos a la persona en el garaje, y hacen sus cosas, o hacemos, ¿cierto? No, son varias cosas, y luego llega el de permiso y tú le dices, ¿sabes qué? Vamos a hacer esto. Dice que si tú ya lo hiciste y tú lo tocas, dice él que tú vas a ser responsable por lo que está pasando y de lo que están todas las adiciones que ellos hicieron. Entonces lava las manos y el que tocó eso, entonces tiene que pedirle, ¿sabes qué? Todo esto con códigos. ¿Qué va a hacer? Depende de lo que usted vaya a hacer. ¿Okay? Tenga mucho cuidado con eso. Voy a querer ser bien específica. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you. Yes. And I'm going to do one county each month, one city or county, so I don't bury you in the class, but yes, I will be. All right.
¿Dónde está nuestro write it down? ¿La otra personita?
Okay.
Bueno, subir el precio, 25.
Okay.
Se casó.
Golly. What does this say?
Portland, Oregon, punto go slash BPS slash 3162. I mean 1612.
So
31612.
Okay. We're going to say that again, and you want to write this down.
Escríbalo, por favor, si es tan amable.
Very good.
Oregon, explíqueselo, dígaselo. Fuerte, que gana,
Okay.
que se oiga, por favor.
PORLANDOREGON.GOV de vaca slash, I don't know how to say that one in Spanish. Okay, BPS slash 31612.
¿Listos? Portland, Oregon. Le pone Portland, Oregon. Punto. No, como gobierno. Le pone una diagonal. P de bueno, P de Pedro, S de Samuel. Una diagonal. 31612. ¿Listos? ¿La apuntamos o no? ¿Otra vez? Portland,
Oregon.
Punto go. ¿Listos? G-O-B chica. B de vaca. Diagonal. B de bueno. 31612. No más.
Yes. It's a 3. It's a slash 3. Yeah.
Slash 3.
No, it's 3. It's slash 3-1. Okay. Okay, we'll hold it one more time.
One more time.
Okay.
31612. 31612. Ahorita lo va a hacer.
Okay. This is the website, and this opens up the doors. This is the ooh and the ah of the evening. I will tell you. Oh, just a moment. Portland, stop that. .gov/BPS/316112.
Diagonal DPS, diagonal 31612. Perfect, next.
Okay, this is Portland, Oregon Planning and Zoning Master website. Okay, so codes, everything for the city of Portland, there you have it. And you can look at it. Any overlays, if you want to know, if you want to spend some time with this, you'll get lost. But I'm going to give you a shortcut to find what you really want tonight. Don't you want to know what work is coming up and who you might contact? Yes. All right, so now, see how it has that nice little search box right up there, search portlandoregon.gov, top right? If you will put in that box, Metro Reports, right here. Metro Reports, okay. All right. And if you would write for us down Metro Reports right here. Okay. The world is about to open up when I hit enter. Okay. Now you say, right, Diana, where do I go? Or it's right there. You want that, the first one. This is your world. It is an amazing world. See how it has all the for years. But you're looking for most recent reports because you want a job. So if we click on the 2020 reports, weekly tab, this is the list of license applications taken in and licenses that they have issued. So as an example, if I wanted to look at that first one on there, a commercial building permit, because I could probably get someone to break it up, a big contractor. Let's look at that. I have who the general is. I have their contact information. Look at how big the job is. 1,903,000 for acoustical ceiling tiles. I bet they work with several contractors. It also tells you it's Skankska. Remember those shirts that we handed out tonight that weren't all the right size? Right? And the hat. Yes. See this hat? Yes. You have their name. Now, and you have each of them, not just them. It has the permit number and the status of it, where the work will be done, the type of construction. So if it's a bid, it tells you it's a bid. This tells you everything you need to know. And then you can contact them. So this day they took in $2 million, $2,060,000 of permit applications. There's also the residential side, okay? This is just this one day of intake forms that they took. Let's look at a residential one, shall we? Deb? Questions? Do you need to go back? Okay. Here are residential that same day. This is an intake on 3/1, so not as big, but they're giving you an idea of jobs. So there's a $37,927 valuation. Here's the contractor, and there's what they're going to do. They're going to attach a garage to the house, relocate a laundry room, and a partial remodel. Maybe there's somebody that could use the different services I have in this room: painting, HVAC, plumbing. A whole lot of tradesmen are going to be involved in that little job. This one's 155,000. We're going to add 12 to. I am certain that they could use the help of some people in this room. Okay.
Preguntas, si entendimos todos cómo vamos a buscar esos trabajos, van a decir, no, pero eso es de mucho dinero, no nos van a dar. ¿Quién vino a la clase con nosotros donde vinieron las compañías grandes? Yo ahí lo vi a Miguelito, vi a varios por ahí. A veces ellos son grandes compañías, pero ellos están buscando a nosotros que somos minoría también. So, fíjense dónde se están metiendo. Hay veces que ustedes dicen, ok, no tengo trabajo. Vean ahí, lleguen, preséntense con ellos. Vamos a buscar la mejor manera cómo podemos contactarlos, porque hay mucho dinero allá afuera, guys. Entonces hay que buscarlo, hay que estarlo.
Okay. All right, it doesn't end there yet. All right. The next thing is, if I want to look over, I'll look right here. Intakes, issued. Here's an issued residential permit. So this is the people, they're ready to go. The permit has been issued. Not too big, but there's some out there. Idea of what is going on in neighborhoods. Typically, if one home is getting remodeled, what happens to the neighborhood? Similar throughout the neighborhood, right? All right, other things that you have on here. I'm sorry. Yes, go ahead. Yes. Issued residential permits.
Private information, can you explain a little bit construction type 1, B, construction type 2.
¿Cuál es la dígame?
Okay. Right. If you go to that first website where it talks about the permits and applications, it tells you what those codes mean. Okay. However, if you want more information, we'll go there next.
Por ejemplo, los que vinieron a las compañías grandes aquí que estuvieron, hay procesos. Por ejemplo, ya ella está trabajando con algunos de nosotros que son hispanos y nos da un orgullo ver. Llegamos allá al aeropuerto y ya ella está trabajando en el aeropuerto. Por ejemplo, ya le está haciendo una entonces, que nosotros veamos, hay veces que el permiso ya lo tienen dado unas personas. Muchos de nosotros, como que nos da pena, dicen, no, pues tiene ganas, mañana no te ven. Usted bájese, pregúntele, métase, empieza a experimentar, porque hay que no tenemos el trabajo. Ella nos está ayudando en esto porque nos llamaron varios que no tenían trabajo, lo que fue de este año. Abrieron su compañía sufriendo un poquito y algunos inactivaron su licencia. Entonces ella está buscando los recursos, cómo podemos hacerlo. Por eso hicimos no sé quién vino a la del viernes, que vinieron muchos aquí y ahí estuvieron, agarraron información y es donde empezamos a tocar con ellos, las grandes compañías, cómo vemos ahí. So.
Okay. The thing I want to show you tonight, because there is so much here. I mean, we could spend probably a couple days going through this, and you guys have better things to do. You're very bright people. You can do this on your own. But see up there where it says applications and handouts, right here, right there. This is where this particular flyer came from. It came from here.
You wanted to Vamos a tratar, ¿ok?
I don't know how to make it bigger.
Oh, apagamos las luces. O sea, no van a dormir. Déjame ver. Es que hay que enciendo cuando va.
Is that better? Sorry, better.
Sorry, guys. Ya casi que
Thank
acabo
you.
la clase, no se ven. Yeah, thank you.
There's no sleeping. All right. So, all right, that's where that came from, and let's look at brochures. So right here is, do I need a permit for my project? But look at all the other topics. Design guide, wood stoves, getting a new, the fees, a broken sewer line drains. You might want to look at those that you think apply to your business. That'll give you some really good ideas. Okay. How do you like pie? I like pie. Okay, and so I can't eat a whole pie at once. I mean, mentally, I'd love to eat a whole pie at once, but I'm not going to enjoy it at once. If you sit down and go through all these at once, you're not going to like it very much. So consider this your pie. I'm going to have a slice, and I'm going to read now and then. So continue to look through here on brochures that you think major alterations and additions apply to a lot of you. This tells you about the ordinances, what qualifies as a major addition, and what you need to do. But all this is available to you, okay? All right, now let's go look at one other thing, and that we'll ask questions and then get you on your way home. You can see in here any zoning land use adjustments. You can see every business management, how they handle your applications for anyone in brochures.
Y lo bonito de aquí, miren, pues si no quieren, hablan en Russian, por eso, y lo traducen un poquito y luego lo vuelven a cambiar para que ustedes vean qué es lo que se va a hacer de todo eso. Lo pueden, clic.
And if that's more than you really want to do, it's like, just give me the good stuff so I know what I need to do. See this subscribe to RSS? You can subscribe so every new permit within what you want comes to you every day. Right here, subscribe. It's being a little weird right now. They've taken it down. It worked earlier today. I can tell you it launches a box. They have to do system maintenance at some time, so I'm sorry, it worked at like before this class started. So if you subscribe to RSS, contact information in your email, and they're going to start coming in with all the permits and applications by type that you see. Okay. You can always turn it off and see you can get translated information. Spanish, yes. Español. Okay. Questions?
Preguntas, nos vamos, las 7, yo sé que se quieren ir. 7 o'clock, I know it's bright.
Okay.
You need a pillow.
Okay. So next time, I'm going to ask something of all of you. First of all, our next working on the registration for any it's like ill. Okay, so it's the re-registration. So what are we doing next time? A lot of you have said, I'm not really up to construction drawing process. I have someone coming in that will help with construction drawings. Do you know that insurance companies require a construction drawing? But I have a professional that comes in for $200 or $300, $400. He will generate a construction drawing that gives you a bill of materials, all of the code requirements for what you're wanting to do, And if you have an insurance claim, he also uploads it to the insurance database in their format, which is a whole nother world. So I'm going to be having contacts that help you develop tools that maybe right now you're not ready to do yourself. You're not ready to spend that $100 a month on a program that literally would design these things for you. You just need occasionally one done. So I'll have someone come in and talk to you about what he can do. He's really good. He operates in 21 states and works for about 8 different insurance companies. And he's done it for about 27 years. So he's quite good and a nice guy. We'll also go through another planning and zoning because I've heard a lot about Clackamas. So we'll kind of get more in the Clackamas area next time. I tried to hit the big one first, Portland, and we'll keep working city by city. That is gold. What we worked on tonight, that is gold. It's what you do. It's construction. And people need your services. I hope you'll give them a chance.
Déjelo ahí, por favor. Acuérdense que el que tiene el amarillo ya